Hello, hello, hello. We are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching us. Today is Tuesday, but we have come today in the middle of the week because someone has got time for us. This is the talk show that we are doing for healthcare workers. As you know, I'm a nurse. I reside in the UK. Today, I have a sister from Canada, another nurse as well. She's here to share her experience with us. But before that, if you have any questions, please put them in the comment section and we will try to answer them for you. Even if you are going to be watching the replay later, I encourage you to ask as much as questions you want and we will try to answer them. So, Dina, back to you. Welcome.
Hello, Senya. Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. To your viewers, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. We are global, so let us know in the chat where you're tuning in from, whether you're watching live or replay. That'd be nice to know. Like I said, my name's Dina. I'm a nurse by profession. I'm tuning in all the way from Canada, and Senya here is in the UK, so we're trying to figure out times that works. And now that
Yeah.
Christmas is coming, I'm off work. I still work as a nurse. I work Monday through Fridays. I work from home though, so I'm one
Mm,
of the lucky ones that can do that as a nurse. But
brilliant.
yes, yes, I am in Canada. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having
Brilliant.
me.
Brilliant. Great. So before we start, this is going to be our last episode before Christmas. We want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I hope you have a great Christmas with your family, without your family, whatever you are doing. So if you have got a lot of spare time, watch our webinar before we even
Yeah.
start during the holiday times. Yeah,
Uh,
it's great to have you, Dina. So, Dina, introduce yourself.
sure.
About yourself, about your family, the job you did and you're doing, and why online business.
For sure. Okay. So yes, I am originally from the Philippines. So I'm Filipino. I'm from Cebu. So if you have Filipino viewers, kumusta mga kababayan, mga kapwa Cebuano, bisdak ni. So we immigrated back here in Canada way back in 1996. And
Mm,
so, immigrated here with my family, my two brothers. My mom sponsored us. She was a nanny. And so I actually graduated back home and then I took my license here. Luckily, at that time, it wasn't that hard. So I've been working as a nurse now here for 25
mhm,
years. And and then I've been doing the online business now for almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in February of this year. And so, to your question, why the online business? So, I'm
mhm,
an immigrant. I'm sure there's a lot of immigrant viewers we have out there, and
mm,
even just people in general, right? In the life in North America, especially in abroad for me, because we're an immigrant, right? Is really truly not that easy, especially when you're starting out, right?
mm,
So being an immigrant, we had big hopes, big dreams, right? And it's your typical couple story for me, my husband and I. You're young and wild and free, right? And we thought life was, all good and all that. But all of a sudden you get married, right? And life just hits you smack right in the face, right? And especially that when you start having children, right? So when you get married, you buy this nice, beautiful home, buy yourself a car, and then all of a sudden you have kids, your priorities change. Just life happens, right?
yeah.
And so in Canada, there's a lot of bills you have to actually worry about, right? Although you're making dollars, you're also spending dollars, right? And
Mm,
so we started having mortgage, car loan,
mm,
right? And kids. So kids have to go to
yeah.
extracurricular activities, schools, and this and that. And you travel. You want to live a lifestyle, right?
Mm,
And the next thing you know, you're in debt, right?
yeah.
And so, and so that's why my husband and I actually kept, for the most part, two jobs. And so I
Mm,
was a nurse, and then I also was actually a mortgage agent for 15
mm,
years till I found the online business. And so, you
mm,
can probably already foresee the future, right? I was
yeah.
getting burnt out, right? And I was stressed because I could still, like, starting off as a nurse, I picked up a lot of shifts. In fact, at one point, I kept two nursing jobs and I thought, oh my God, this
Mm,
is so tiring. Let me find something else. So I decided to take another route and did the mortgage part, the mortgages. And I thought,
mm,
well, it could be self employed and that could be better. It could be partly like, you have your own business, right? So I thought.
Yeah.
But I was
Yeah.
so wrong. It was still another job, and it was still taking a lot of time out of me and a lot of energy. To
Mm,
cut the story short, I was a burnt out
mm,
mom with, like, having all these big dreams and just wanted to get ahead in life, right? And so I thought to myself, what can I do to not jeopardize, the income, but gain back the time, right? Because I just
mm,
want really, because all of us, we know we all have the same goals and dreams in life, is have time and financial freedom. Okay.
mm.
Keeping two jobs, yes, money was fine. We were getting by, but then I was losing time, right? The kids were growing up so fast. I was not the present mom, right? I was there, but not really there.
Yeah.
For you moms out there, I know you can relate, right? When you're so
Mm,
tired and burnt out, you come home to your kids, right? And your kids are so excited to see you, want to spend time with you, play with you, especially when they're little, and you just snap, right? Because
yeah.
you don't have the patience. And
Mm,
so that's what I was seeing. And there's just so many moments when I caught myself, right? When I was like, why are you so impatient? Why are you so, like,
mm.
you get angry so fast? Then there's many times, and this one special moment where it really caught me, right? Because I forgot my daughter's event in school. And I felt
Ah.
so bad as a mom, right? And this is what hit me. And I'm like, what the heck did I just do? Right. And that
Mm,
night I went to bed. I couldn't sleep. And I kept thinking to myself, okay, I work so hard, and why am I working so hard? Because I want to give my kids a good life, but I'm not really there for them. Right. And
mm,
I kept crying and crying because I saw my daughter's face that day when she came home. Right. She cried
mm.
and said, Mom, why weren't you there? Did you forget? And I'm like, I have no excuse. I actually did forget. Right. And so I said sorry to her. We both cried, right? Like, I'm sorry. It's never going to happen ever again. Right. And that was my pivotal moment, right? That was a turning point in my life when I said to myself,
Mm.
something's got to change. Something's got to change. I can't be like this forever. And because I'm a
Yeah.
Christian, I prayed hard that night,
Mm,
prayed to God thinking for ways, right? Like, give me a way. I want to find a way to
mm,
get out of this, right? And then so I thought, that something in your gut just tells you, and because I'm a Christian, to me that was the Holy Spirit speaking to me,
mm,
saying there's
mm.
other ways, just look for it. And then, we're always on social media and thinking to myself, wait, people are online all the time, and I know people are making money online, but how?
Yeah.
That's when I started looking for something to do online, and that's how I got here. But it took
Mm,
me a long time to actually decide which online business I was going to do. In fact, this specific one that we're doing now, I
mm.
wasn't looking for, because there's so many things out there. There's like Amazon FBA, drop
Yeah.
shipping, marketing, right? I looked into that. It took me 2 years to actually do a lot of research, right? And then
Mm,
this just fell in my lap because my brother was already also doing online business. So I
yeah.
happened to ask him before, like, jumping on board, because I was already fixed on this one thing. Because I said, you got to do something. If you're not going to do anything, nothing's going to change. So I
Mm,
this thought I decided I was going to do affiliate marketing. I've gone through all their info sessions. I did an interview,
mm.
all of that. But then something is still not sitting right. And I said, you know what? Your brother is already in online business. Why don't you ask him? Again, Holy
Yeah.
Spirit talking to me saying, why don't you ask him? What are you
Mm,
waiting for?
yeah.
And that's when I actually found this online business. And so thankfully I did. Listened to the Holy Spirit, to my gut saying, call and find out. It's nothing can really go wrong, right? You've already seen so many things, done all your research. This is the last stop, right? And see what he's doing.
Yeah.
And thankfully I did, because now I'm here and it's been 4 years. I'm truly blessed. I'm so happy to be here. This is such an amazing journey and it's such amazing business. So that's a long story.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Dina. I know. When you talk about shifts, it is the time and the effort that takes out of us, especially for
Hmm.
nurses. Today, we are talking to nurses, right? We are
Hmm.
calling nurses to have a plan B. So,
Yes.
for me, is the more you need money for the family, of course, and then the more you have to do more shifts. The more you
Hmm.
do more shifts, your time is taken away from your children, from your own family,
Hmm.
and you don't even have time. When you said that you were snapping easily, you don't have time for yourself either, because it's a
Yes.
very it just continues, and once you start to do that, it's hard to stop as well.
Yes.
because what you earn is not enough. I love my job. I'm a community
Mm-hmm.
nurse. I love
Okay.
talking to people. I love supporting people. I love everything about the community nurse that I do, especially looking after palliative patients, is what
Mm-hmm.
I do. But looking into what you can do, you can't do it forever. That's
Mm-hmm.
where
Yes.
I came into realization. At some point you cannot do it forever. So for me and my husband was a different story, because my husband is in pharmaceutical and I am a nurse. Then we said, okay, we have a mortgage, our boys have grown up,
Mm-hmm.
they start to work, they're fine. We need to help our people who really need help, our family back home.
That's
We
right.
couldn't do it with the money that we earn. Yes, we could
Mm-hmm.
live for ourselves, but we don't have extra money to pay for our sons' education, or if they need
Mm-hmm.
anything, or for any emergency, and especially to support our family back home. And we couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was listening to a preaching while I was going to one of my patients' house, and I heard Dave and Roxanne was like talking, and it just resonated with me. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, oh, these people are Christians doing a business. Because in the old days, Christians never resonated with business.
Mm-hmm.
They're okay with 9 to 5
Mm-hmm.
jobs. You work for someone else. But this new thing that has come up in the last 20 years or so, you can own a business, you can run your own business. It has not been more evident, like especially
Mm-hmm.
after COVID, isn't it, Dina?
Yes.
So after that, I said to my husband, we need to check these people.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I said, I really need this. We need to check them. And then we did a lot of research about what we want to know.
Mm-hmm.
And I never looked back. It's been more than a year now. I enjoy it. I have grown so much. I have learned a lot. What I enjoy is I take what I have learned in the online space to my work. The
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
skills that I use,
Yes.
I've learned. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing. It's an amazing journey. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's easy, but it
Mm-hmm.
is beautiful. The way that I have used, and I'm using my own time very
Mm-hmm.
efficiently. I love myself better
Oh,
when
yes,
I'm more
definitely.
productive. And
Yeah.
helping other people to grow together is the secret of this job that we are doing, this business.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me even more prouder. We are offering an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity.
Yes,
So it's a
definitely.
beautiful opportunity. You're right. Now,
Mm-hmm.
how do you balance your time? I know you are a very successful in the business,
Mm-hmm.
but how do you balance your profession? You're still working, aren't you,
Mm-hmm.
Dina?
Yes.
How do you balance that
Yeah.
with business? Because most of my colleagues, even those who are going to be watching us for sure, and my
Mm-hmm.
friends, nurses like myself, they say, I don't have time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Oh, definitely. So,
Um, yeah. So how do
yeah.
you do all
Oh, how do we all do all this? You just do it. There's no secret to it. Here's the thing. Here's the deal, right? Is that I know, especially we're talking to nurses right now.
Yeah,
I know that you're saying you have no time, right? But you do have time to pick up extra shifts, right?
yeah,
That's still time.
absolutely.
So, like, nobody says no to an overtime if you're an immigrant, especially when you're new, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to, find ways to save money, right?
Mm,
And you're just starting. You never say no to overtime. I know that because I was in that situation before,
yeah.
right? I was hungry for overtime because I needed that money to put
Mm,
away for, for to buy a house, to pay the debts, all of these
mm,
things that you want to send money back home, right? And so how you just do it. Like seriously, like
mm,
it's another way. The way I see it, this is another way to actually generate income, right? So
absolutely.
you can do nursing, right? But like you said, your body can only really truly take so much time, right?
Mm.
You don't have so much energy. And for me, I'm not getting any younger.
Me too.
And so
Me too.
here's the thing, is I really thought about this early on in my career, right? When I was a brand new nurse, excited, when you're so new and you're
Mm,
excited, especially when you came from a different country, you're hungry to make money, you want to work a lot, yeah, right? And then all of a sudden I look around and like, why are there so many grumpy nurses?
Mm,
Right? That's something you really have to think about. And
mm,
I didn't understand why. And like these are older nurses, right?
mm,
And I promised myself that time, I'll never be a grumpy nurse. Never. Right? I said, if that came to a point when I'm starting to feel like I'm getting grumpy, it's time for a change. Right? Because
mm.
first of all, you became a nurse to take care of other people.
Yeah,
Right? And so if you have nothing to give anymore, if you're already grumpy, why are you even doing it? Right?
yeah,
And then
absolutely.
especially that I came from a background of cancer, right? We do have a my mom died of cancer, right? My brother
Mm,
had cancer. So we have people in our family that were sick that I know that when you're taking care of somebody that's sick, you need to be yourself to be healthy and you need to be able to give yourself to serve. How can you
mm,
serve when you're grumpy? I didn't understand
mm,
that. And then you know how when I realized why they're grumpy is when, like I said, I had my own children, right? I started to become worn out. I felt it. I went to work grumpy, right? And at the same time, in Canada, here's the thing is we're so lucky, right? People here get to go to maternity leave and we get a year. Actually, now it's 18 months, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
18
18
months.
months. Can you imagine that? And
Oh,
we still get income. Of course, it's decreased about 60%, right, of your full-time
yeah,
income, but it's still good because then you get time to take care of your kids. Now, when
absolutely.
when I went on mat leave, I started looking at because you have so much time in your hands, and I thought thinking about the future and thinking, oh, I wonder how much I'm gonna make when I retire, right? And how when am I going to retire? How long am I gonna be working as a nurse, right? So I
Mm,
started doing my research, right, and went out. Yeah, it's just me, when you're a nurse, you're very sometimes very analytical. So
yeah.
I started thinking and thinking I better look this up. And when I started looking it up, I actually was mind blown, right? Mind blown. I'm thinking, oh my God, I gotta do something else, right? Because it made me realize that, oh my God, I have to work for 30, 40 years to get a full
Mm,
pension. And how much is my pension, right? It's not
very
much.
nice. It's not,
It's
it's not.
not
Yeah.
much, right? And so I started considering, at that time, the house is paid, the kids are grown and done, right? You're just really taking care of you. But that amount of income and considering inflation, all of that is really only enough to survive. Like living expense,
Mm,
that's it. But when you think
yeah,
about retirement, right, especially when you're young, you're thinking traveling, taking care of your kids, spoiling your
yeah.
grandchildren, going back home, helping, doing missionary work, helping your community. How can you do that with an income as such? And I'm like, oh my God, I spoke to my husband, like, this is not going to work. I'm like, we got to find another way, right? And so
Yeah.
that's why my husband and I have always had this mentality of multiple sources of income because of that reason, right?
Mm, mm,
That's why I've always kept two jobs, right? And so, because again, there's no such thing as the other thing is like there's no such thing as guarantee, right? Job security, there's no such thing, and you can get
no.
sick, right? And so that's why we were heavily like we worked hard. We even invested in real estate. We had rental properties. We had all these things, right? Just
Mm,
to make sure that in the end, when it's time to retire, that we can actually, not just survive but have a lifestyle, right? And
absolutely.
so it's not about how do you manage, you just do. Okay? You just
Yeah.
do. And so
Yeah.
and the how, don't even think about the how because you will figure it out if you truly want to do it. Right? For me, how did I do it? So I was still working two jobs, like I mentioned. I was working full time as a nurse. Um, and I knew I
Mm,
didn't want to work full time. Like I didn't want to be bedside forever. So I'd find ways, right, to actually get out of the bedside. And that's how I became a nurse informatician. I work from home, right? I
mm,
support like health record. So aside from working from home, Monday through Fridays, I actually also did mortgages. Right. And so during the weekends and evenings, I was out there closing deals, training in
oh,
realtors offices. I was in financial services. I was very busy. And that's why people
mm,
always ask me, how do you do it? How did you do it? I just did it. How? Well, basically, I blocked off time. I
mm,
sacrificed, right? Okay, I had no time anymore, but I made time.
yeah.
Okay. So what I did was in the beginning, because in the business, right, in this online business, you know that it really only takes a lot of your time in the beginning when you're doing the setup phase. So I
Yeah.
set it up just like any business. You can't open a store without like doing a setup, like building your building, like building
Absolutely.
your store, staffing it, getting your inventory. Same thing with the online business. You got to set it up. So I knew I had to do that. So I blocked off time. I took some time off work from my nursing job. I took all
Mm,
my weekends and I took about a week off, right? And just did the setup, right? Once the setup is done and I knew it was ready to go, I actually put away time again during the day, during the weekdays, right? I actually set aside and decided what my hours of operations are. Okay.
mm,
So if I'm working Monday to Fridays, 8 to 5, okay. And then I and in the weekends and evenings, I'm out doing mortgages. I still had to do that. I couldn't just stop one
yeah.
right away. I had to
Yeah.
transition. So then I knew that, okay, from 9 till midnight is when I do my hours of operation.
Mm,
Sometimes it goes over that. Sometimes I actually stay up till 2, 3 in the morning. My husband during COVID got mad at me. Like, what time are we going to bed? It's already 3. Like, you're still here, right? I gotta do it, right? And then,
yeah.
I lunchtime, break time, I do my, there's inquiries, I do that. If I like there's people commenting in my post, I respond to that. I did my work in between, right? I set
Yeah.
my hours of operation. I just had to do it. Now, some people would say, oh, that's too much. But the thing is, in my mind, what I was thinking about, if I don't do anything, nothing's going to change,
Yeah.
right? I knew this was
Absolutely.
something temporary. It's not going to be forever. I knew that if I put in sacrifice now, eventually it will pay off, right?
Mm,
And so I
mm,
did that for the first little bit, right? I did that for I'd say about the first 6 months. Okay. But
yeah.
once the setup is done, guess what? Now you freed up a lot of time. Okay. Your
Yeah.
business actually does not take so much of you anymore. So instead of doing 9 to midnight, 9 to 2 in the morning, now I only did 9 to 10, 9 to 11, right? At the
Yeah.
same time, I will do my, during coffee break and lunch break, I still, did some, responded to some inquiries and,
Mm,
looked at all of that, right? And then as soon as I saw results within that first year, I just knew I had to do what I need to do, give my time in the beginning. As soon as it's established, I don't have to do that anymore. And sure enough, I started seeing results, right? Started seeing
yeah.
results. And then I knew right away within that first year, not even within the eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th month, I saw income coming, which again, I was mind blown. I wasn't expecting this much money from here, but it
Yeah.
actually surpassed my expectations. And I knew right away that my income in the online business is going to surpass my mortgages, my second job. I
Mm,
knew it's going to replace it, which was
mm,
really a surprise in the beginning because I wasn't expecting it, right? So
mm,
when I saw that, I put in even more. I pounded more. I like put
yeah.
in more effort, right? Why? Because I knew I wanted to do this fast. So right
Mm,
away within that second year, like first year, I decided, okay, this is it. This is the last year. I'm not gonna renew my mortgage license, and I didn't. So the second year, like right after the first year, that second year, I said in September because that's when the mortgage license was up for renewal. I said, no, I'm not gonna do it
yeah.
anymore. Right? Because why? It only made sense. My income in the online business has surpassed it, and
Mm,
guess what? It given me more time. It's free time, right?
absolutely.
So how do you do it? Just freaking do it already, right?
Mm,
Stop overthinking it. Just do it.
absolutely. Absolutely. So it is a commitment, isn't it, Dina? It's a
Yes.
commitment. If you want
Hmm.
to dream big and you don't want to commit yourself, you would not see the results. It's
Oh
the
yes.
same way that if you want to achieve anything, you have to
Oh
work
yes.
hard
Hmm.
to go where you want to be. So there's no excuse. We are
Nope.
doing it. You can do it as well if you're
Hmm.
willing. Come and join us. Today is Tuesday.
Hmm.
Dina, we talk to us a little bit about our webinar, and then we will be closing up.
For sure.
Um,
Yeah, so even before we go there, I think the one thing we need to cover, especially to our nursing friends here that are watching us, is
mm,
truly is that time and financial freedom. I know that's
mm,
what we all want, right? And
yeah.
so going into something, you have to look at what's the price in the end. For me to be willing to commit to give that sacrifice, what is the price in the end, right?
Mm,
Isn't that the reason why you went to nursing in the first place, right? Because aside from the
yeah.
fact, and don't tell me you want to serve, because I myself in the beginning didn't think about that. I was too young to even think about, oh, I actually want to serve. No, I wanted to make money.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted to find a job that I knew I could get a job and start to generate income for me and have a good life, right? And that's what my parents wanted for me. So I decided, okay, nursing is the best way because in the Philippines, that was our passport to get out of the country and go
Oh,
abroad, right? So a lot of us were nurses in my generation, right? So as
yeah.
soon as you're high school, that's you're thinking, okay, nursing because I want to go to the United States or Canada or the UK, right? So you
Okay.
gotta know what the price is in the end. Once you know what that is, you'll be willing to actually put in the work, the effort, the sacrifice. Right? We
Mm,
became a nurse. It wasn't easy. First of all, our
yeah.
parents dished out a lot of money to send us to school. It wasn't
Mm,
cheap. Second of all, we had to put in a lot of time and effort, blood, sweat, and tears, right?
yeah.
Staying up late at night studying, right? Like, all of that hard
Yeah.
work. Why? Because we knew once we graduated, we're going to get a
Mm,
job that will pay us money.
absolutely.
Similarly, here, that's the one thing you got to look at is that what is the price in the end? Do you truly make money in the online business? How much is that money that you're going to make? I'm going to tell you right now that the money we make in the online business can way surpass your nursing income,
Mm,
right? Is
yeah.
that worth it? Definitely. Why do you
Absolutely.
think I put it in sacrifice? Because I saw how much people were making here. 5, 6 figure income. My
Mm,
nursing will never ever give me 6 figure income. Never. Well, first of all, it did. Now I'm already making over 100,000. Why? Because I've been here for 25 years. Okay.
yeah.
But there are people here. My brother is making 6 figure income monthly. And he's only been in online business for 5 months. I mean, 5 years. So if
Mm.
you put that side by side, nursing 25 years, 100,000 per year, online business, 5
You
years,
can't
100,000,
calculate it. Dina, you
100,000 per
cannot
month.
calculate that.
Right? No, like, if you put it side by side, it doesn't make sense, right?
I
So,
know.
but I'm not saying quit your job. Of course, stay there because that pays the bill. And you
Mm,
you gotta put in the sacrifice. You're not gonna be able to see results until you put in the hard work first. This is not a get rich quick scheme, right?
yeah.
You still gotta have to put in some hard work. So think about that, right? If you're not happy in the situation you're in right now, if you actually want, you have big dreams, you wanna just not just save that, give your family a better future, but also help your community, your church, right? Go back home and help do missionary work because that's all we want, right? In
Yeah.
the end, after helping your family, what else is next? Of course, it's like helping others, right?
Mm,
If you have even a dream, like do yourself a favor and just watch the info session. Okay, our webinars are every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, and I'm not sure what time it is in the UK there, but in North America,
it's 1 o'clock in the morning, so they can watch it next day.
yeah, you can watch it the next day as this replays, but get in touch with the person that's invited you, in this case, Sinyet, right? And ask
Mm,
her, how can I get access to the info session? Just check it out. Do it for you, do it for your family, right? You owe it to yourselves and your family to continue dreaming because there is a way,
mm,
right? Because when you think like
absolutely.
just working and working hard and then work, I truly believe we're not meant to just work and die. No,
There's a
there's so
life
much
to
more
live.
to life. Exactly. You gotta live life and you gotta be able to enjoy it. And at the same time, be able to give more. Like, how can you give from an empty cup? Right?
Yeah.
Doing all
Mm,
these, helping people back home, your church, your community, it actually requires resources, right? Whether we
ab-
like it or not, we need money to do that, right? Money is
absolutely.
just a tool, and all we need is a vehicle to find a way to make that resources, right? So, what I can say is just check it out. You owe it to yourselves to really, truly just check it out. And it's again Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, that's our webinar. So,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you so much. Dina, thank you for inspiring my viewers today. Hopefully, you have learned something. I really want to say thank you so much for making your time, your valuable time out of your break. I really appreciate you. Thank you for everything you do in our community, in our online business community as well. And God bless you. And for all of you, everyone, if you have any question, we are going to close now, but send me any messages and I'm happy to support you and to guide you into the next step. God bless you. Have a good night, Dina.
Thank you. Take care,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye. God bless y'all.
Bye.